what the heck is drip? That is a burning question I'm sure all of you have right now. Probably not, but bear with me. Also, I have notes in front of me right now, so my face is probably going to be like this a lot of the time because I need to remember all of the stuff. And all of it is also written in caps lock because I'm slightly excited. So yeah, if you have been following me this past week, you've probably seen that I've been talking a lot about something called drip and how it could be the start of something quite big for me. You also probably know that I have been on Patreon for a long time, over 4 years now, and it was a complete game changer. It basically meant that I could do comics full time, and I can sit at home like this and talk bollocks. It's amazing. So yeah, Patreon has been a complete life changer for me. But over those 4 years, I noticed that they have also been doing some dodgy things. I won't go into all of it here because we would be sitting here for a while then. But basically, they are a little bit floaty when it comes to not safe for work content. So essentially smut, which I like to draw. And both friends and strangers alike have been affected by this. They have had their accounts suspended or their money frozen, or sometimes I think they've even had their accounts completely wiped. Things like that. Yeah, it's just been, you kind of constantly feeling like you're on edge with that kind of thing because you're not entirely sure what the rules are. And I know, Ruffles, it's bad. Anyway. Last, of course he starts talking now, I'm sorry. Last month it happened to me. I had my money frozen for a few days, and it almost made me miss my bill payments. It was an incredibly stressful experience, and quite the eye-opener as well. So I basically just felt like the rug had just been pulled out from under me, and I was like, fuck. So I've been keeping my eyes peeled when it comes to drip for a long while, because it's invite only, so it's not something that you can just join. You have to be invited right now. It will open up in the future. But anyway, what's drip? What's drip? It's Kickstarter's version of Patreon, essentially. So people pledge for an ongoing period of time to pledge support for artists. Ruffles, do you want to come in here and have a chat as well? Is that what's happening right now? He's playing with his disco ball. I don't know if the mic is picking that up. So yeah. Anyway, so how is drip different from Patreon? Well, first of all, drip oh my god! Drip allows smut. So yeah, that shut you up, didn't it? I can sit down and I can draw all my porny stuff, and it's fine. I don't have to keep on looking over my shoulder to be like, oh my god. They allow it. It's fine. They are also part of Kickstarter, so everyone who has a Kickstarter account automatically has a Drip supporter account, so there's no extra admin there. And they talk to me face to face, so I could actually ask them questions about stuff properly, which, is more than I can say for another company that froze my money and then went on holiday. Yeah, we're not salty about that. And I think most importantly, it's actually a place where I could work on my granny's comic book memoir. I will try to keep this brief. But yeah, my granny was called Stina, and she passed away last year. She was very important to me. She was like my second mother, and I went back to Sweden to help my family go through all of her belongings, and that's when we found some crazy shit. She had kept diaries from the beginning, like before World War Two, up until the point where she died, and she had photos, she had artwork, she had poems, she had speeches, like public speeches, news clippings. I mean, it just goes on. It's crazy, like the amount of stuff we found. I took loads of photos of it, and I believe I posted it on Patreon and stuff, and on Twitter as it was happening, and we were all just like, mind was just blown. I'm still in the process of reading her diaries. It's taking forever because there's a lot of it. Yeah, when I went to when I went back home in 2016 she was still alive, and I introduced my husband to her. I also asked her quite briefly then about, her childhood in northern Sweden and stuff, and she showed me photos and things, and it was at that point that I properly realized that I really need to interview her, like sit down with a recorder and interview her about this stuff. And sadly I didn't get a chance because she passed away the year after, but she left all of these things behind, and we're just now in the process of piecing together her life, decade by decade, and it's very overwhelming. I can give you some examples if Ruffles lets me. So some of the craziest stuff, for example, she had a run-in with the Swedish Race Biology Institute, which was a bunch of racist people who measured skulls to prove that white people were superior, and they would also measure the skulls of the indigenous Sami population to prove that they were somehow inferior. And my grandmother's skull was measured when she was a child at school, and so this is something that I want to look into a bit more because it's quite shocking stuff. And she was later on part of Lottakåren, which was like I think part of the Red Cross that helped Finnish refugee children in World War II when they came across the border fleeing the war. And her family home, which was in Övertorneå, which is like a town to the border of Finland up north, her family home over there was used as a military medic facility essentially. So that had a bunch of stuff happen over there as well. Her family were a deeply religious, conservative family who were part of a sect. I found some stuff about that. And later on, because my grandmother became a single mum, that kind of family, conservative family, and a single mother back in those days might have created some friction, possibly. I found loads of evidence that she was like super pro women's rights and like way ahead of her time, and like super pro like rural workers' rights. She did like speeches about that. She also had an encounter with some Nazi doctors who told her that she was good breeding stock. I mean, I could go on forever. Really, this is so much there. It's crazy, and we're just sitting on this massive, like, bundle of like evidence of not only how bad the Nazis were, as if you needed to be told that, but like how life was back then, and it's just amazing stuff. Also, she was an incredible tapestry artist, so yeah. It's basically there's a lot there, and Ruffles has stopped chirping. Thank fuck. So I want to tackle this, as I think I said before, decade by decade, and I want it to become like a graphic novel, like think in the vein of Mouse by Art Spiegelman or March by John Lewis, and there is just a lot of research that needs to be done for that. A lot. This is a project that's going to take many years to do in sections, and that's what I want to use Drip for, along with the smut, obviously. So I want to start drawing Granny's life, and the Drip would be paid per month. This is something that is very new and very scary for me, because my Patreon has always been paid per page, for many reasons, but hopefully now, like 4+ years later, I have gained enough trust credit. Trust credit. Yeah, that's fine. That, you know, people would want to support me on a monthly basis, and they will trust that I will be getting on with work, and you know, it's what I do essentially. This is also really something that I want to do and that will happen. So if you were one of those people who back, you know, a few months ago when I showed all of Granny's things and showed all of the like sketches and stuff that she had, if you saw all that and you expressed interest in this being turned into a graphic novel, then it would be amazing if you considered supporting me when I launch my Drip, because that would be amazing to just, you know, start it off running. I can't remember what it's called in English. Get off to a running start. That thing, yeah. And also, if you liked my latest comic book about what it's like being a comic artist, there was a short horror comic called Signature, then, you know, Drip will have more of that as well, because I want to do more of these short form comics. And you know, again, if you like genitals and you like general smutty things, Drip is where I will feel more comfortable sharing that. So, you know, it will be really nice, is what I'm trying to say. Oh shit, I haven't even talked about the founding period and founding members of Drip, because that's different as well from Patreon. I'll make a separate video about that or something. This has just been a rambly post because I just need to get this off my chest to kind of tell you what's going on, why I'm being all overly excited. But I don't think it's overly excited. I think this is the right amount of excited. So, yeah, I will shout more professionally about Drip soon. So, you know, if you want to keep an eye out for that, just follow me in all the places, and I will talk about it, and it'll all be great. And yeah, I'm really scared, but I'm also very excited.